elsewhere. But no, it is Zimbabwean vice president thinking that no, they're not thinking to pay nurses well. They're not thinking to do any of these things. Here is the brilliant solution they've come up with in Zimbabwe. Let's criminalize health workers leaving Zimbabwe to work elsewhere. That is the ingenious, brilliant idea that they have come up with in Zimbabwe. So, incidents like this, will make you ask the question, is something is fundamentally wrong with the black race? But I do believe there's nothing fundamentally wrong. The black race has just been, especially on the African continent, lots of countries, not all, but lots of countries in the African continent have been very unfortunate to have the worst kinds of leaders you can imagine. Not even bad leaders, no, the worst kind you can possibly imagine. It's very sad. It's like it's akin to the worst of us leading the rest of us. And you can't buy leadership. You can't buy it. You can't give it if you don't have it. If it didn't dare, it didn't dare. Really. To answer your question, we're doing this because we have the permission and cooperation of CPO Con FN to do it. Can't you see it's only us, the PDP, that can unnecessarily protest without intelligence report? If you doubt me, let another political party, even the one that court has permitted to inspect materials, try to protest and see what will happen. That's from Bob. Well. Good afternoon. The numbers of PDP protesters at the INEC office keeps increasing every day, and the police has not gotten any intelligence reports of hoodlums hijacking the process. They're not telling us that the government knows about anything hoodlums allegedly. Oh well, like I said, interesting times we are indeed. So let's see. Was there anything else of interest that caught my attention earlier on today? I do have to wrap up this segment in a moment. Okay, I'd like to wrap this up with today's side comments with the comments credited to the Rivers State Chief Judge. Do I have that here? I should have that here somewhere. Okay, this was on the news yesterday. I did express some thoughts on it, but I do have the comment, the audio of the Chief Judge right now, and there was something else I'd like to point out. Now, 37 inmates were released from the Port Harcourt prison yesterday in the first jail delivery this year. Now, speaking during the exercise, the Chief Judge of Rivers State, Justice Simeon Amadi, again blamed the police for the congestion at the correctional center. Now, he said the police still deliberately charge suspects to a court that lacks jurisdiction to hear the case. He, however, advised the police to conduct proper investigation before charging suspects to court. Let's take a listen to what the Chief Judge had to say on this matter. Let's see. Okay, here we go.
The police, this is not the first time saying it, even before I became Chief Judge. In some of the workshops we have had, I've asked us to raise it. We find out in Rivers, the person goes to the police station to report a mere case of stealing. The police will turn it to be armed robbery, kidnapping, all type of offenses that they know that the magistrate court does not have jurisdiction, so that person will be reminded. You go to a community, there's a matter reported. Instead of going and do thorough investigation, they go there and round up almost 20 persons from the community. If certain things are not done, they are now pushed to court with a very bogus charge, so that those people will be reminded. I think we have to check our conscience. Are we doing the right thing?
I need to play this back, and I have some, frame by frame, if you will.
The police, this is not the first time saying it. Even before I became chief judge, in some of the workshops we have had, I've asked us to raise it. We find out in Rivers State, a person goes to the police station to report a mere case of stealing. The police will turn it to be armed robbery, kidnapping.
Isn't that a crime? These are very serious allegations. And by the way, this is not allegedly. That's exactly what happens. The chief judge is the one saying this, the chief judge of Rivers State. This is a clear indictment on the Rivers State Police Command. This is a crime. This is not a case of a child not sharing his toys with Junior and then a slap on the wrist. No, this is a crime.
All type of offenses that they know that the magistrate court does not have jurisdiction, so that that person will be reminded.
Okay, I mentioned this yesterday, Mr. Chief Judge. Okay, let's assume our police officers don't know what they are doing. And I repeat, as I said yesterday, while there are very many fine officers in our force and they're doing a great job, there are many others who literally don't know what they're doing. Do the magistrates also not know what they're doing? Chief Judge, you issued a practice directive, was it last year or the year before, on this matter, that people who do not, if you don't have jurisdiction over a matter, you should not attend to it. Does it mean that the magistrate and other courts are still flouting this practice direction or directive and they're still going about attending to matters that they have no jurisdiction over? Which also is criminal, by the way. How do you remand a person for not doing anything?
The community, there's a matter reported. Instead of going and do thorough investigation, they go there and round up almost 20 persons from the community. And if certain things are not done, they are now pushed to court with a very bogus charge so that those people will be reminded. I think we have to check our conscience. Are we doing the right thing?
This is, Chief John, this is not a conscience matter. This is not a the report here has it that most of the freed inmates have been in detention for over 6 years. 6 years. Some of them have been in detention for 10 years. Over 10 years for doing nothing. This is not a conscience matter, Chief George. This is a criminal matter. Somebody has to pay for this. So those persons now who have been in detention for 6 years, over 6 years, some of them 10 years, some of them over 10 years, for doing nothing. Didn't have their day in court, nothing. Just remanded there for 10 years. 10 years of their lives have gone. And then we're asking people to have conscience. Conscience. A police officer put them there. Some police officers put them in that condition. A magistrate signed off on it. Somebody in the DPP's office did not provide advice. There are people responsible for this. There are people who did this to these people. And we are simply saying, let's have conscience. Let's have conscience. How about those people? What happens to them? Where do they start to pick up their lives from? 10 years of their lives gone in the most dehumanizing conditions you can possibly imagine. Some of them might never recover from the trauma that they've been exposed to the last 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 10 years of their lives. And we're admonishing people to have conscience. To have conscience. Oh my goodness. The best we can do is ask people to have conscience. And that's a wrap on today's side comments. I have to go for a break now. I'll return shortly with today's rant. Do please stay with us.
Politics, business, lifestyle, economy, social events, all of these and more make us what we are, human beings. Where else do you start your conversations but on 92.3 Nigeria Info?
And now, Hard Facts. Hard Facts with Diode.
Hello, welcome back. It is Hard Factor Nigeria Info here in Port Harcourt. I'm Dio. I'd like to rant for just a bit. I've got something in my mind. I'm expressing some thoughts in it, and you're very welcome to express your thoughts and mine till 4 p.m. And I'd like to apologize beforehand. Yes, it's another sad, unfortunate, unbelievable, ridiculous, embarrassing story. It's another one. We seem to be mass producing them these days. Sad, ridiculous, embarrassing, unfortunate stories. We're not short of them. Everywhere you turn, there's a sad, ridiculous, unfortunate, embarrassing Nigerian story waiting to grasp your attention. Here's another one. Auditor General of the Federation's report. NNPC didn't provide details of 102 billion naira crude oil supply to refineries. Senate alleges. Okay, this is the one from this day. I think we may have published the version from the Punch newspaper, but they're all the same, more or less. So let's go with this one. The Senate yesterday indicted the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited over its inability to provide details of the crude oil supply to Warri Refinery and Petrochemical Company and the Kaduna Refinery and Petrochemical Company amounting to about 102 billion naira. The Red Chamber gave the verdict after considering the report of its Committee on Public Accounts. The panel in its report sustained the queries issued against the NNPC as contained in a 2016 report of the Auditor General for the Federation. A document accused the NNPC of poor record keeping on the crude oil it lifted and supplied to the two refineries. Now, after reading this story, I just you can try this for yourself. Just try this for yourself. Just do a quick Google search. And I'm going to do it again now as I'm speaking. NNPC accused. That's one. Let's do another one. NNPC indicted. NNPC indicted. And you would not believe what comes up. All kinds of stories. FAC accuses NNPC of using lower FX rate. NNPC denies paying 20 billion naira to ghost consultants. Subsidy governors accuse NNPC of fraud, secrecy. And it goes on and on and on and on. It goes on and on. If you try another one, NNPC indicted by Auditor General of the Federation. Let's see. NNPC. This was published in 2016. NNPC failed to remit 3.2 trillion naira in 2014. That's according to the AGF, Auditor General of the Federation. 3.2 trillion naira in 2014. Let's go on. There's another one here. How NNPC dubiously paid 36.4 billion naira water projects, blah, blah, blah. Audit report exposes 3 trillion naira fraud at NNPC. And it goes on and over the years, several audit reports. By the way, audit reports, not audit reports carried out by the World Bank or international community. No, audit reports carried out by agents of the Nigerian state, the office of the Auditor General of the Federation, answerable to the same federal government, the same president that the NNPC at the time was answerable to as well. Several indictments, accusations of fraud, mismanagement, cover-ups, embezzlement, and nothing. The latest one, Senate indicts NNPC over 102 billion naira crude oil deliveries, and nothing. Your guess is as good as mine as to what will happen after this latest one, as to if anybody will be queried, as to if there's going to be any indictment, as to if there's going to be any trial, any prosecution, any convictions, as to if anyone's going to have any jail time. Your guess is as good as mine. And all they've done, the Senate therefore upheld the recommendation of its committee asking the Group Managing Director of NNPC, Mele Kyari, to ensure specific details of crude delivered to the two refineries for audit. And that's it. And we move on. Can you imagine something like this coming up in some other countries of the world? By now, the media is awash with it. By now, every media, every broadcast media, print media in that country, that's all they're discussing right now. That is all that's discussing. Breaking news, every channel you turn to is breaking news, is what they're discussing. You're going to see media people, cameras following security agents, making arrests everywhere. MD this, director that are being arrested. People are being queried. People are being questioned. By next week, prosecution has commenced. High-profile prosecutions have commenced. Litigations. People are still being arrested. Accounts are being frozen. People are, by the end of the month, next month, people are being sent to jail. But in Nigeria, the Senate just says, just provide information. Provide the information. It's not there, or just provide the information, and that's it. I mean, the reasons this country is not making the progress it ought to be making are not far-fetched. They're right there in front of us. We all know it. The whole world knows it. The international community knows it. Hopefully, we will somehow find the courage someday to deal with the very obvious issues that are plaguing us. On that note, I end the run. Thanks for listening. Let's get your take on mine. Call 070-0923-0923. We're live on Facebook.com/NigeriaInfoPH. We're live on Twitter at NigeriaInfoPH as well. You may also call 0817-93-0002, 0817-93-0003, or 0817-923-0007. Hello, Hard Factor, welcome.
Hello, Dio. Good afternoon.
Hello, go ahead.
Yes, Dio, my name is Andy Akbotive.
You're welcome.
A very quick one. If it's very possible to rig my next Andy Akbotive's award, I would rig it in your favor. And let me tell you why. The very fact that you are able to talk about these stories every day and you are still sane is something we should celebrate, right? Nigeria has become a very huge crime scene, Dio. A huge crime scene. From the morning since I got up till this moment, I have been wondering, and Dio, I kid you not, that how did God even create me a Nigerian? So you were very absolutely spot on when you said that the media houses in every other country would have been speaking about this issue. Dio, did you ever do the calculation of the 5,000 people, $800 million US, you divide it to see how much one person is entitled to, how that person can use it as a palliative against the fuel subsidy for that period of time? Did you ever do that mathematics? Dio, again, what you just played to us, even though I'm not supposed to comment about it, did you hear the chief judge also say if certain things are not done, they will then do certain Trump-up charges? What are those certain things? The chief judge is aware of it. Dio, Nigeria is one huge crime scene. And sincerely, at these days, I want to just be tuning out completely from all of the news that we hear in this country, radio station, TV station, we're listening, reading newspapers, because nothing will be done. A country that does not understand.
Andy, I must go for a commercial break now, Andy. Good to hear from you, though. I'll return in a moment. The conversation will continue. To stay with us. Hello, welcome back to Hard Fact to Nigeria. In for her input, Harker, I'm Dio. Still taking your responses to my rants from a while ago. Let's go back straight to the phone lines. Hello, Hard Fact, welcome.
Good afternoon, Dio.
Hi, go ahead.
Avery from Rumusi.
Yeah.
Dio, maybe you don't understand how these things work. Maybe the EFCC has not gotten an intelligent report yet to made an arrest on the high profile of those who are in the NDDC who are
NNPC.
committing all this crime with their pen in their office. They commit this crime with pen in their office, and if the common man on the street who involved in fighting, the police have the platform to now send them to the correction center where they will stay for 10 years, 6 years without any competent jurisdiction to judge their cases. It's so alarming in this country that we don't know where we are heading to, Dio.
Quite disturbing today. Quite disturbing, I must say. Got a few messages over here. I really commend your insistence for a better and working system of governance, but believe me, you may think that you're being hurt, but unfortunately we're not. No, you get it wrong. Listen, the job that we do in the media is not for honorable or excellency. No, it's for you. It's for you. It's for your neighbor. It's for everyone. That is why you have the media. That's why you have the practice of journalism. It's for society. It's for everybody. If you're hearing me, that's why you sent this message in. That's what matters. If Honorable does not hear, Excellency does not hear, or doesn't care, that is completely irrelevant. It's about you. You've heard. Your neighbor has heard. Your colleagues at work have heard. Or the family members, your friends have heard. That's why we do this. That's why we're in the business of doing what we do. Good evening. This report on the NNPC is just the tip of the iceberg as regards the humongous corruption which goes on there. It's one of the organized crime systems we have in Nigeria. I have an uncle who works for the Warri Refinery. Some years ago, they went to their boss to complain about the fact that they just come to the office every day, sit down, do nothing and go home. Guess what the boss's reply was? Are you receiving your salary? My uncle replied, yes. His boss responded, then go back to your offices and stop complaining. This is Nigeria. That's a wrap for now. Businesses come to the top of the hour at 4 o'clock. Discussions continue after that. Do stay tuned.